What's going on, guys? Resident Evil here with a tutorial video. Now, as we all know, Street Fighter V was released recently, and as many people have voiced rather loudly on the interwebs, it's a little incomplete. One of the more glaring omissions from the PC version of the game was native direct input support, which, as many of you know, is the basic controller support that goes into every game released on the PC. Many PC players like myself have found this frustrating that we can't set up our PS3 or PS4 controllers in the game on the PC. I myself have the Hori Fighting Commander 4. You can see the lovely controller here. Street Fighter V, however, does have X input support, which basically means that only Xbox 360 and Xbox One controllers are natively supported by the game. But again, because most of us are using PS3 and PS4 controllers, we can't set them up in-game. Now, many people have turned to joystick to keyboard programs such as Joy2Key and Xpadder in order to set up their controls for the PC version of Street Fighter V, and Mad Catz, having released their brand of PS3, PS4 gamepads and arcade sticks, have advised PC players to do this as well. I recently saw a tweet by @MadCats that explains to do this in their guides for their gamepads and arcade sticks. I, however, as an expert PC user and a fighting game player, strongly advise that you do not use these programs and instead use another program called X360ce, and there is two essential reasons behind this. One, because there is a separate program running behind the scenes of Street Fighter V, there is a higher risk of the program crashing during play, which if you're playing online is very bad news. Number two, there is also a higher risk of input lag due to the fact that the game itself is not handling the inputs, but a separate program recording the input data and translating it into keystrokes into Street Fighter V, because the path that the data is taking is going from the program to the processor, then into Street Fighter V, which goes back to the processor again. Now, the input lag may be very minimal and hard to notice, probably only like 1 millisecond. But as any fighting game player will tell you, 1 millisecond could mean the difference between life and death. The reason that X360ce is a better program than Joy2Key and Xpadder is because it is not a keyboard simulator for joysticks and gamepads. It is actually an X input emulator, which means that the program can set up any control you want and tell Street Fighter V, yes, this is an X input controller, use it. And all of the inputs are no longer handled by a second program running in the background, but the game itself, which means less input lag and less risk of failure. And I'm going to show you how to use it and set it up right now. Okay, so we'll go to my desktop here and minimize that. You can see my lovely desktop here with Samus in the background. Now, where you want to do is you'll want to go to X360ce's website, which is x360ce.com, and you'll see I have the website loaded up here. And on the top here, you'll notice that there are two download links for the program. One is a 32-bit version, and one is a 64-bit version. The one you're going to want to download is the 64-bit version because Street Fighter V is a 64-bit program and game. Now, once you've downloaded that, you want to copy or move it to a specific folder here. Basically, you go under your Steam library. It could be under C Program Files x86 Steam, or wherever you saved your games on Steam. So you go to Steam Apps, under Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common. You scroll down to find Street Fighter V, Street Fighter V again, Binaries, Win64, and that's where the program will lie, and that's where you want to put X360ce. So let me open it up right here and show you what's going on. So, and I'll wait for, okay. So, now before you set anything up, one thing you want to remember, and you want to do this before you do anything else, if you have any other controllers plugged into your computer, unplug them, and I will explain why. X input only has a limit of controllers that you can plug into your computer, which is only 4, just like the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One. if you have any other controllers plugged in above that number, above 4, X360ce will not recognize or detect that controller at all. I happen to learn this the hard way because I have a Mayflash Dolphin bar, which takes up 4 slots, and wouldn't recognize my Fighting Commander 4. So basically, it's really simple to set up. All you do is just go to any one of the commands here. For example, go to D-pad up and hit record. And I'll show you on the gamepad here. All you have to do is just hit the corresponding button, and there you go. That's all there is to it. I already have the D-pad set up here. I have the 2 analog sticks, which aren't really necessary. It's a switch on the controller here. I also have the respective buttons, X, A, B, Y. It's all set to square, triangle, circle, and X. R1 and R2 are set to the right bumper and right trigger. And because I have an extra input, extra R1 and R2 inputs on this controller, I can also set those to the left bumper and left trigger as well. And for L1 and L2, I have set that to the 2 analog buttons. Obviously, we also have share, which is the back button, the home button, and options, which is start. Now, one of the neat features of this program is you can actually go in here and you can find other profiles that other people have set up with their controllers. If you have the same controller as them, you can actually go in here and download those settings into X360ce here and just be instantly all ready for Street Fighter V just like that. I have the Fight Commander 4. I've probably already uploaded my profile in there. Feel free to use it. There's a whole bunch of other profiles here. It actually shows you how many users are using that profile, so you can tell which one is right for you. If you want to do that, and if not, set one up yourself. So I'm going to exit here, and we are going to go into Street Fighter V for a quick little test. I'm going to Steam and load up Street Fighter V. Now, when the game is loading up, the way you can tell the X360ce is working is you will hear the Windows sound go off before the game loads, just like that. Okay, and now we are going to Street Fighter V right now. Whoops, nope. Oh, there we go. Okay, logging into server, and look at that. Already works beautifully, no lag, no problems whatsoever. Basically, all you need to do is just go under, I'm sorry, not options, battle settings, and go under controller, and just set up your inputs like normal. It'll recognize as a native X input controller, you know, X, Y, so on and so forth. Okay, and I can go in and test it right now. Let's go into training. And random stage. My boy Ken. Hey, I was waiting for you. Random.
Make this look cool.
Going against Miss Mika in the bustling side street. For it to load here. And there we go. Works perfectly, absolutely no lag whatsoever. No input lag at all. Now, one thing I want to show you here, if I Alt-Tab out of the game here, like so, and we're going to go over here, and if I go into Task Manager, and if you look in the list of programs I have running here, you can see there is absolutely no other program running that would detect the inputs from my controller and translate it into a keyboard stroke. No X pattern, no Joy-2 key, nothing like that. I mean, you can look through all the programs, absolutely nothing like that here. So, and everything is run directly from the game itself, and there's no risk of input lag, no risk of failure. And that's really all there is to it. Rather simple. So we'll just exit out here. So hopefully within the next month or so, Capcom will release a patch for the PC version of Street Fighter V, which will include direct input support. When that happens, what you're going to want to do is go back into the folder that I told you to put X360ce earlier and just completely clear it out. Basically, get rid of any trace of the program, and once the direct input support is put in, just go into the game and set up your controller like normal without anything else running. And that's all there is to it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Also follow me on Twitter at Resident_Stevel and on Twitch at Resident_Stevel as well. I'll see you on